well, it's Uncommon Fossil. And the other day, I was going through my old deck lists, particularly looking at the ones that are no longer valid in Standard now that rotation has occurred. And just looking through, for the most part, deleting the decks in a couple places, finding decks, hey, I like that deck, I think it still is an interesting deck, let me update it. And so I came across this Arceus Surfing Pikachu deck. Yes, it's never been the best deck in format, it still is not, but it's a deck I enjoy to play. I enjoy, if you're not familiar with Surfing Pikachu, it's a lightning Pokemon that uses water energy, which lets us do Melony, which is nice. And it does 160 to the opponent's active for 3 water energy. Not great, but then it also does 30 damage to each of your opponent's benched Pokemon. So that's potentially 150 more damage. So it can do 310 damage potentially if all the conditions are correct. And that's a very nice number. There is no more scoop up net, so it helps get the damage on the low HP Pokemon. So I kind of like it, and I gotta say I like it, right? And I do think the deck isn't bad. So the Pokemon are still valid within it. The energies, DTE, and water still valid, but several of the trainers are not. So just gonna walk through the process of how I brought it up to current standard, and how I think I've even made the deck a little bit better, and then we'll give the deck a spin. I think it's a really fun deck to play. It was before, and it still is for me. So Air Balloon reduces retreat cost by 2, no longer valid, but I need some more switching, right? I need to switch between the Arceus and the Surfing Pikachus, so I will just toss in some basic switch cards, right? There's always switch cards in Standard. I don't know when the last time there was not a basic switch card in Standard. So I have 2 rope now to the 2 switch. That covers that. Marnie, obviously that's rotated as we know, so drop those. The replacement for that obviously is Judge, right? It's not as identical. It's a little less powerful because you only get 4 cards, but very similar for disruption for your opponent. Get some new cards for yourself. Rod has rotated. That's a card that definitely missed for sure. I think there is a new Rod coming out in the next expansion, but we don't have access to that now. I don't know exactly what the text on that Rod will be. Well, I don't usually look ahead too much to the future, I got to say. I figure there's enough things in the current format to be concerned with. So drop that Rod, but Rod gets you back energy and Pokemon. I do think I need to get back to Pokemon at least, so I'm going to put in 1 Miriam, right? Shuffle up to 5 Pokemon from your discard pile into your deck, and then you draw 3 cards. So it's a little draw supporter also, as well as Pokemon recovery. I think that has value. I think I can get by without the energy recovery, so I think Miriam is fine. Quick Ball, of course, is rotated, so the simple solution for that is Nest Ball, of course, and none of the Pokemon in the deck actually have on-play abilities, so that is okay. And then the last card, which we don't have, which we can't use, is Telescopic Sight, which was useful, does 30 more damage to your opponent's benched Pokemon V and GXs, and obviously that paired nicely with Surfing Pikachu. So I cannot replace that, but so what will I do? I will add 1 more research, give myself a little more consistency setting up, and then I'm going to add a Pokemon, which this is what I think does definitely make the deck better. I'm going to add in Radiant Greninja. I could potentially attack, because I do play Water Energy, but really it's here for its ability, concealed cards, just to discard an energy, which does help set up the Melony, and it also draws some, because the deck really didn't have any engine outside of Arceus' VSTAR BRS. So Arceus to attack early on, accelerate energy to your Surfing Pikachu, then switch into the Surfing Pikachu and smack away with that. Let me make the deck active, and then let's see how the deck works, right? It's an okay deck. I grant you it is not the best deck in format, but it's a deck I have a lot of fun with. I like spread decks, I gotta say. That's a weakness of mine. I know spread decks generally are not the most effective, because a lot of times as you spread that damage around, doesn't always add up to knockouts and extra prize cards, which is what you need it to do, right? You can just have a lot of damage on a bunch of your opponent's Pokemon, but if you don't actually get any benefit in terms of drawing prizes, it's kind of wasted damage, and that can happen for sure, especially against tanky Pokemon. I am doing another test here also, I will say, with the sound. I have the music and sound effects on. I've made the volume a little louder. It seemed very soft before. So let me know in the comments how you like it. If you don't, that's fine too. So starting Surfing Pikachu, that is not what I want to do for sure. So I need to hit one of my Switch cards. One of the advantages to Flying Pikachu. And Flying Pikachu obviously is a very good card, part of the World Championship deck. All right, so I have an Arceus. That's not bad. I will get an Arceus onto the bench, and I think I will attach. And then, that's not bad. Okay, so Arceus, attach, and pass. All right, so I have access to the V-Star next turn, which then can get me my energy, my DTE, and my Switch card. And I will have a choice between Switch and Rope, depending what I want to do. So my opponent's going to look to get energy onto the Duraludon this turn. So a solid matchup. So the path to the peak will be important once I set up here, right? Because I need to shut off Duraludon's ability to hit it with Arceus. But the Surfing Pikachus, I will just keep basic energy on. So I might not even need path to do the damage I need. So I believe 160. So it does 160 on Surfing Pikachu. All right, so they're doing a nice job here getting their energy accelerated this turn. So that's exactly what they wanted to do. So I need to hit into them and get damage down. So this is a decent turn for me. Oh, got the DTE. That's nice also. So I think I will, might as well hit into the Duraludon, right? I'll get rid of Pokégear. I like Judge. I think I'm going to ditch the boss. I kind of am sad about that, but I want to put the path down. Oh no, that was a mistake. I grabbed the wrong, I discarded the wrong supporter. I meant to discard Judge, and instead, that was bad. That was very bad. I wanted to use, all right, so I will Rope though. That's okay. I will Rope instead. That's okay. I wanted to switch. Rope actually works out quite nicely for me, and I will evolve Surfing Pikachu. Evolve. Get those nice sound effects. I kind of like them, I gotta say. I don't know if you hear them or not, and I don't know if you enjoy them or not. Throw down the path, which shuts off the Arceus V-Star. That's really my concern with that, right? And then 180, which then sets them up to be knocked out next turn. Get my 3 energies all on my bench Pokemon, just the way I like it. And a very nice start to the game. And I can hard retreat, right? With the DTE, that pays the retreat cost. I could retreat the Arceus and attach an energy to it. So they don't have the energy on the Duraludon to attack, so they need to do a switch to get a switch card. Shut off their V-Star ability if they get assuming they get the V-Star in play. So they are just passing. That is quite nice. So how do I want to handle this? I think I could boss them up, but I don't get knockout then, right? So I could bench a Pokemon too. I don't think I want to do that. No, keep it. I just go in order. They number them, so I just play them in order. Is that right? I could retreat also and attack them with Arceus for knockout if this is how it stands. So I like that option too, right? Arceus without DTE does 200. They're at 190. All right, they're getting another Arceus on the bench. They're going to... Okay, that's fine too. So I will attach, I believe, to the active. I could toss down the Radiant Greninja. I think I'll wait on that, though. 190. I get knockout on the active, so let me... Right, so I will take 2 more prizes. Playing down the Surfing Pikachu might have been a mistake, right? And they concede. So, okay. Yeah, once... Whether I played... The Surfing Pikachu might have been a mistake. Might have been getting too greedy. But there the deck goes, right? Up against Arc Duraludon, a reasonable deck. And, oh, look at that. A new ladder rank. So, jump in, get another matchup, see how the deck performs again. And I enjoyed that game, I gotta say. All right, so I will call heads here, right? That's my go-to. When in doubt, call heads. Go first, yes. Now this is, I don't have my preferred deck box and stuff because I think I don't remember what I had before. I think this is just the default sleeves and such. I could update that to what I like. I probably should. All right, so so 1 mulligan there. So up against Lugia. Now Lugia is this is where the Surfing Pikachu has its potential because it's lightning type, right? So I hit Lugia for weakness. That's good. And if I can hit the Archeops enough times, I can knock that out. Although that's very difficult. Because it's I believe it's 150. So getting the starter I want down, I can get the Surfing Pikachu down also. So I get to go first. Okay, that's nice. I have the DTE also. So let me drop the Surfing Pikachu because I want to get that evolved next turn. Play the DTE. And end turn. What I don't have access to right now is my V-Star. I may have to live without that. In which case I will probably I'll attack with Trinity Charge just to charge up my VMAX. What I could do... Okay, so I'm not going to get judged because they're playing Burnett, which makes sense. They want to get their Archeops in the discard, right, Professor Burnett guarantees them the 2 Archeops in the discard. So that's nice for them. The Tyranitar V does a lot of damage. 240 plus 10, 20, 30, 40 plus 80 more. So it gets to 320, so it can one-shot me. They need all 4 single strike energy on, though. At this point, I think I will evolve the Surfing Pikachu. I think I'll attach to the active Arceus V. And then play Judge, because if I can get the VMAX, that is best case scenario for me. And I want to... I always got to think upside and downside. So that's draws, right? Lucky energy. All right, so Surfing Pikachu. I don't think I want another Arceus down. I don't really want another. And I will Judge. Now, they didn't get a great start. Well, it was their first turn, so I don't know how their hand is. All right, I don't love this, but it is what it is. And I have a bunch of water energy, so that's nice to know too. I could accelerate to the other Surfing Pikachu next turn if I want to, which might not be bad. And if they have to hit through the Arceus, right, then that's 2 prizes. Then the VMAX is 5 prizes, and then the other VMAX is 8 prizes, and when you can make your opponent take 8 prizes, that is really terrific, right? You can't really do more than that in the game, not in standard anyway. Expanded, I'm not sure. There are certain things that might disrupt things. So a V-Guard, a Judge, all right, which is okay. I mean, it's not a great hand for me. They need to get their V-Star into play. That's what they're looking for, which they do. So they're going to knock out my active. Right, that's what's going to happen there. I might want to use the rope. I mean 240. So they do 280. I mean, they could rope me and then do some really hurt my active. I'd be a little sad about that. Although, I mean, I have rope. I could. It's not terrible, right? I can switch into Surfing Pikachu. I mean, I can switch back into the Arceus. So I imagine, you know, they're probably going to take out my V. In which case, I'd research. So they discard 4. So hopefully those are 4 cards that they needed. So they lost an energy and an urn. That's not bad from my perspective. I think I want to force them to send up another Pokemon, though. They get to choose. We'll see. I guess they're going to send up the Lugia V, be my guess, but I don't know. I think they want to protect the Archeops. Yep, there. I will research. No reason to attach it, that extra energy. What do I want to discard here? I'll get rid of Arceus and DTE. I'll grab a Surfing Pikachu. That's I could regret that. I could regret that. If they rope me, I don't like that. So maybe I put down Radiant Greninja. Draw a couple cards. And then... Alright, not what I wanted, but not terrible. Alright, so I take 2 prizes because of weakness. You know, I have to hit those Archeops 4 more times, so that's where that's unlikely to actually succeed for me, right? Alright, got a Surfing Pikachu, which I think I will play down. I have basic water, so I probably Melony to my Surfing Pikachu. So the nice thing about that play is at this point they can't knock me out because they need all 4 energies, I believe. And one of them, they have Urn, so they could recover with Urn. That's for sure. All right, and I am weak to fighting. That's a downside. And now they have their Stonejourner into play, but I can't imagine they want to pay the 3 retreat cost from this, right? So I meant their plan is to attack with Tyranitar V. They don't one-shot me with Stonejourner, but they'll hit into me with this. It's not great, I will say, right? Maybe they're planning on retreating. So I guess they're going to attack with Stonejourner. Okay. All right, that's interesting. I have Boss, though. They're not going to knock me out. So I'll have to make my choices, right? So maybe I'm trying to think what I do. I could take 2 more prizes on the Lugia. I think that's not the play, though. Just because I'm going to have a hard time getting the last 2 prizes before they take their prizes, right? Ooh, that's right. That's right. It one-shot me, so I'm in a world of hurt now, for sure. I'm going to lose, basically. I don't really think there's any way I don't lose, is there? I will Melony. See what I get. So I concede, because they have game. Good job to my opponent. You know, Surfing Pikachu is an okay deck, as I said. It's not the BDIF at all. All right, let's get past their celebration screen. Let's jump in another game, see how things work with it. Getting knocked out before I got fully, you know, I didn't get off my art fully set up the way I wanted that time. And obviously you won't all the time. You know, Lugia is a very good deck, though, still, right? Very good deck. I need to actually do some Lugia. I haven't really played Lugia, so I have the Crobat coin. They won, so probably forcing me to go second. We'll see. Yeah, they're going first. I'm going second. So I really need things to go well for me on my first turn. Otherwise, I'm in trouble. All right, we both mulliganed. I'm taking a second mulligan. Let's see what I'm up against here. What's that? Arceus. So some type of Arceus deck. Alright. Wow, okay. They're getting a bunch of extra cards. That's unfortunate. Right now, I do have a Pokégear, so that's my one hope, right? Giratina. Alright, Giratina's tough. The good news is Giratina cannot one-shot my VMAX. It obviously can with the second attack, but I don't imagine they'll get the energy. I mean, that they're going to get 10 cards in the Lost Zone usually. Usually they do not with this deck. Oh, that stinks. Alright, I want a Surfing Pikachu down. That's unfortunately, so I have my Radiant Greninjas prized. Nothing, I can't get energy in the discard pile. That's where Quick Ball would have been useful, right? But it's not. So I'm going to judge. I don't... Do I want to toss down another Surfing Pikachu? I will. Partly just to increase the odds I hit the DTE. I probably don't hit it, but that's what needs to happen. I missed the DTE. It's not good. All right, I'm going to attach to the active. It's got a couple. One, if I get knocked out, I have Melony in hand, so therefore I can accelerate with Melony. If I don't get knocked out, I can attach manually and then accelerate with it, which isn't terrible. Obviously, they've gotten a much better start than I have. They got their V-Star down. I get judged, but those cards weren't the best in the world. All right, well, that's a nice hand there. We'll see what happens. The problem is, I don't think they're going to knock out my active, are they? So these gloves, I think, are against Psychic Pokemon, right? Yeah, I've been seeing more of that. What are these gloves called again? Cleansing gloves. So I guess it gets the Giratina up to the 310 to one-shot Gardevoir EX, I guess. And also, actually, it also takes out the Mew VMAX also, right? So those are two very nice Pokemon to be able to one-shot. So it does 200, does 180. So even with Choice Belt, they don't one-shot my Arceus, so I'll attach DTE and Research. Depending, of course, what my opponent does and what I top deck. But that's, you know, that's the plan for the moment. DTE Research. Hopefully I hit the V-Star, because I'd like to do some damage besides accelerating energy. I'm discarding 2 energy, which I wish I had discarded the previous turn, because then I would have Melony, but I should have 3 energy in deck. I hope so, right? It's possible I don't. I have 1, 2, 3 in play right now. With Research, I could draw some more into my hand. So they need to switch. Okay, so they're playing Path, which... that's okay. It's not the end of the world for me, although I'd like to be able to use my Arceus V Star. Of course, I need to get it, too. So they have Skwovet, they have Bibarel, they have Arceus. They have, you know, they're nicely set up. I don't want to switch, so I just research. A V Star is really what I need. All right, not terrible. A V Star. Hit a VMAX. So that's nice. It sets me up so I can finish off the Giratina next turn with either attacker. So not a bad turn at all there, really. And I can retreat. The Skwovet is a nice target for my Surfing Pikachu, right? 2 hits and it's knocked out. So I like that. So I'm not sure what they're going to do here. So the Industrious Incisor already, so they could Skwovet, but they only get 1 card from that. So there we go. Take the win. They didn't set up well, right? I like the spot that with the Skwovet down. I really enjoy a Skwovet Bibarel engine. It's a lot of fun, but it's 60 HP Pokemon like a Skwovet or a Mew. I two hits with my Surfing Pikachu, and it's an extra prize for me. And things like that make the deck. I think it's a viable deck, right? It's not certainly a top deck, but you know, if you like getting some spread, especially trying to soften up the big Pokemon so you can finish them off, or take some extra prizes off some low HP single prizers, give it a try. It's, I think it's at least as good as it was pre-rotation, if not a little better now with the way I built it. So take care.